Today we're going to go over a bullet cam. This is an IE Geek bullet cam ZS GX2S, but a lot of the bullet cams are very similar. I'm going to go over how to install the SD card properly, and then what happens if it doesn't install properly, what you can do. First, make sure the camera is off. You can check by your cell phone if it's already installed, or if you go to your owner's manual, you will see this side is power, this side is reset. So you will hit and hold the power in this model for 5 seconds, and you'll see there's no lights on in the front at that point. And you can check your cell phone to make sure there's no link showing that the phone is active. The chip or the SD card comes right here. You don't need any tools to put it in. A fingernail will be fine. The SD card from the front, from where the eye is, has to be facing you along with the front. If you try to put it in this way, most models won't accept it, and you'll end up with a problem. In some cases it will just reject it. It'll be wedged in there. In some cases I've seen it actually fall into the camera. So it comes in this way. This one, you need to aim it a little to the back. That's incline the card in that direction and push it down with your fingernail until it latches. I say that because this card has fallen in more than once into the camera, and it's a problem with alignment of the holder inside and the hole on top. So what do? Now, for anyone that hasn't had this problem, you can stop right now looking at the rest of it. But if your chip or SD card falls inside your camera, you're going to want to know how to get it apart without guessing so much. By peeling these boots off, or these plugs off, you're going to find you'll have screws in here. I've already taken them out, so it will make this film shorter for you. So when you take those little boots off, or plugs, you'll see the Phillips head screws inside. You'll just use a small Phillips head screwdriver, remove them, and you'll see this. Now, the reason I'm taking this off first, I want to show you there's no place to get the chip out if it falls inside the camera this way, and these wires go to a circuit board inside. So once you take the camera apart, if you try to pull the insides out too far, you may stress the connections on this part. It looks like a button battery here. The button batteries are usually there to hold the time. So once the time is set, it stays set for you, even when the unit loses its charge. Okay, so my point is, once you get this disassembled, as I'll show you here shortly, you don't want to pull the insides out too much, because you might mess up this connection here or on the circuit board. Okay, so you put it in, it didn't seat right, it fell into the camera, you can't see the card, the SD card anymore, and you say, what now? If it's a brand new camera, returning it to the company as a warranty is not really a good option, because you might have a very expensive card in there. I have an expensive card in there. These cameras, some of them will take 128 gigabyte, and if you use a very good quality card, that card might be as much as the camera or more even. So what do you do next if the chip, the SD card, fell inside and hasn't seated properly? Well, when you look at this, it looks like a perfectly sealed unit. It doesn't look like you get access anyway. At least it baffled me for a while, and when I went online I couldn't find any help. So that's why I'm making this. You'll find ever so small a little opening right here, and it's really an indentation. You can put a flathead screwdriver in there, or a wide one, and you can gently pop this section off. It's not going to come off easily. Then get a long drive screwdriver, thin one, and fish it along the side, and you're going to fish it up under the plastic to about here, and you're going to twist the screwdriver gently. And why is that? Because you don't want to crack this bezel area. Let's hold on a second here. Let me try it again. Okay. Okay. So if you press it properly, you may be able to see these stubs, these prongs right here, seat inside the holes right here. So if you try to just pry it up, you may crack this across, and you're trying to keep good watertight integrity. If you break it, remember that you have a microphone here, this little hole here, between the eye and the cam, right here. And that's for, I think, the microphone. This is the light sensor. So you don't want to cover those up with glue if you can help it. Okay, and if you do, before you put it back in, you want to get an ice pick with this off and poke it through again after you've fixed where the crack you made in it. I like E6000 because it holds well on plastic. It has some UV resistance. But if you find some other good quality adhesive that's UV resistant, fine. Okay, so you've pried this off. You're going to find inside that there's 4 screws holding this unit in. Of course, to make things easier, I've taken them out already, but we're going to put them in back again. You're going to see these 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. These look like the infrared LEDs, so if you crack the plastic around here, be sure you don't cover these up because it'll reduce the infrared light at night. Okay, so you got your screwdriver and you've taken these out completely, and you're going to keep them separate from the other screws you may have taken out, because these are a 1/2 inch screw. And I still got 1 screw in, excuse me. Okay, so now you're going to be able to get inside, and the chip, when you rattle it like this, the SD card will fall out. Again, don't pull this out too much because of those battery cables to the bottom button battery. It's going to cause you a problem. You'll break off the card. Now, when you put it, after you get the card out, I recommend you put the card in while this is still out. So insert the card just in the direction that we showed earlier, where the label of the card is facing you and not the terminals. Face it backwards, use your thumb, and seat it before you screw it back in together. Then you get your 4 screws, screw those back in, and you'll be able to pop this plastic plate back on. And if you're careful, like I showed you, and run the screwdriver up underneath and put the pressure around these studs, you won't crack it. I've taken this off several times to remove the chip and to get prepared for this little video, and I haven't broken it. So that's it. That's how to insert the card, and if the card falls into the cam, how to get it apart, and how you can reinsert it and go back to business. Thank you for watching. I hope it helps.